we are Group 5 and today we're gonna be explaining to you about Module 7 Imaging and Design for Social Impact. Today let's start with Lesson 1, which is Graphic Design Fundamentals. What is graphic design? Graphic design is a process in which we use typography, images, colors, and other illustrations to communicate. The term graphic design is first coined by William Addison Dwiggins on 1992 as he called himself as a graphic designer. We use graphic design today to communicate visually and to have a good experience, and the fundamental of graphic varies from PowerPoint presentations or mobile applications, posters, logos, and even paintings. There are 5 types of graphic design. These are lines, shapes, form, texture, and balance. Line is a kind of shape which connects 2 or more points and one of the essential elements of graphic designs. Line can be used and commonly found in drawing or illustrations, textures or patterns, as well as text composition. There are 4 types of line. These are thick line, thin line, curved line, and jog line. Let's explain the second type of graphic design, which is shape. Shape is a 2-dimensional external boundary of an object. Any outline can be considered to be shape, and together with lines, they can form the foundation of your design. There are 2 major categories of shapes in design. Number 1 is the geometric. Geometric is irregular and mathematical shapes. Organic. Organic is a free-form shapes. Let's explain the third graphic design. Form is a 3-dimensional shape. The shadows, perspective, depth, and sometimes texture create a form without the attributes. A form is just a shape or series of shapes. Let's go to the fourth graphic design, which is texture. Texture refers to the physical quality of the surface of an object and how an object looks or feels like. It can be 3D or 2D. Texture adds depth and visual interest to the flat images or objects. Let's explain the last elements of graphic design. Balance. Visual balance is the creation of visual equilibrium by relating elements such as line, shape, color, space, or form in terms of their visual weight of visual balance. The first type is the symmetrical balance. Symmetrical balance includes radial symmetry is when both 2 sides of a piece are equal. Each half is identical or visually similar to the other half. Second type of visual balance. A symmetrical balance is both sides of composition does not contain the same elements but contain the same visual weight.
Good morning everyone, my name is January Campos and I will be discussing the Lesson 2 of Module 7, which is the branding and identity. A brand identity is made up of what your brand says, what your values are, how you communicate your product, and what are you want to people feel when they interact with your company. Let's cite another example. We can easily associate the school by simply looking at their school of combination, just like the image above. So we're going to enumerate the 7 steps to create a brand identity. For the first step is establish clear purpose and positioning. The first part of establishing a brand identity is determining what your purpose and positioning is. The brand purpose is the big reason for your existence. For step 2, conduct through market research. A brand purpose and positioning can be informed, at least in a part, by market and customers research. To understand the cultural tension described in the previous section, research is crucial for beginners to market research. There is wealth to content online. For step 3 is get a personality. Something I've heard several times is the question, if your brand were a person, what would she be like? It might be a bit glitch at this point, but it's a smart way to think about brand personality. And brand personality is an important thing to consider. For the step 4 is create polished logo. Which came first, the logo or the brand? It's difficult to say because logos and brands are constantly being refined and adjusted. But by the large and clear, brand should come first, followed by the logo that much complements and enhance that brand. And for the step 5 is create an attractive colors for palettes. Related to logo design is the color palettes. This should also be simple, with only 1 to 3 primary colors. Through Google, get away with 4. Knowing a bit about the emotions conveyed by the certain colors can help you select the right ones. For the step 6 is select professional typography. Stressing about finding just the right font may lead others to designate you a typography nerd. But you'll come out ahead when you pick a font that works in harmony with your logo and colors. It is important to consider these things. For the first is, do not make it fancy. Custom fonts and fancy symbols make your content harder to read, not just for screen readers user, but also people with dyslexia, people with low vision. The second is, don't mix fonts. The common mistake to avoid when combining fonts is to use too many fonts in one design. This can make your typography look cluttered, confusing, and unprofessional. Third is, mix contrasting fonts. Typefaces that are somewhat different but have comparable weight, proportion, and or letter shapes may be similar enough to make your design look confusing and indistinct. And for the 7 steps is choose on brand supporting graphics. Since we live in a multimedia world, the final step in creating a brand identity is an extended visual language with supporting graphics, icons, and photographs.
Sir, this is Princess Rena Q. Constantino, Group 5, Section BSHM 1D. Today, I will discuss Lesson 3, Layout and Composition. Layout and composition. Layout is the arrangement of the elements of the design, such as the stories on a page of a newspaper. Layout is the process of arranging visual elements like text, images, and shape on a given page. There are 5 basic principles of a layout and composition. Number 1, proximity. Number 2, white space. Number 3, alignment. 4, contrast. And 5, repetition. Proximity is the ability to see a relationship between two graphic or non-graphic objects based on their distance from others and their linkage to a third object. White space is the area between design elements. It is also the space within individuals' design elements, including the space between typography glyphs, readable characters. There are 2 types of white space. Number 1, micro white space. Number 2, macro white space. Micro white space is the space between more minor layout elements such as the space between letters, the distance between paragraphs, the space between lines, kerning, and the line height leading. Micro white space is the large space between major layout elements and the space surrounding the design layout. There are 6 types of how important the white space in design. Number 1, improve comprehension. Number 2, focus and attention. Number 3, increased interaction rate. Number 4, guide the user through local grouping. 5, branding and design tone. 6, creates a breathing space for users. Improved comprehension is where reading comprehension starts. Focus and attention. Focus and attention may seem like one and the same, but they are in fact different. Increased interaction rate. Interaction rate, how often people interact with your ad after it's shown to them. Guide the user through local grouping. Local users and groups is a Microsoft Management Console snap-in that provides a graphical user interface for managing users and groups on a local computer. Branding and design tone.
Hi everyone, I'm Angeline D. Alfaro and I'll be discussing the Module 7's Lesson 4, Typography. What is typography? Typography is the art of arranging text that makes it readable and appealing to the viewer. It involves font styles, typeface, and text structures. Some people often misuse the term font as typeface. So let us explain first what is the difference between font and typeface. Font refers to the variation of weight of a typeface, while typeface is a text style. Font also refers to the format or storage mechanism of a text. Look at the table 1. It shows the difference between font and typeface. Fonts can be categorized into 3. They are serif, sans serif, and display. Serif. Serif fonts are fonts that have little strokes called serif on each end of the letter. They typically used in formal and traditional projects. Some publications such as books, newspapers, magazines, and researchers normally use serif on the body of the text. Here are some examples of typeface with serif. Garamond, Times New Roman, B. Rockwell. Sans serif. Sans serif are fonts with no extra strokes. Sans serif means without serif, as sans is a French word for without. This typeface conveys a clean and minimalist look to the text. Examples of this typeface are Arial, Helvetica, Calibri, and Verdana. Display. Display fonts are sometimes called fancy or decorative fonts. Display or decorative fonts are artistic and eye-catchy since it can show a variety of emotion or cater to various themes. Examples of display fonts are advertising script, bangers, and forte. Choosing a font or a typeface. Whether you're new or old on graphic designing, one dilemma that most graphic designers experience is on what fonts or typeface are going to use. One mistake that beginners commit is the misuse of fonts or typeface. In choosing a font's typeface, it should portray the message that you want to say to the viewer. In choosing typefaces on your designs, limit yourself to 1 or 2 per project, and you may play with their family fonts for emphasis and contrast. You may combine serif and sans serif, display and serif, or display and sans serif. That's all, and I hope that this video gives you idea and knowledge about typography.
This is Princess Renamekio Constantino, Group 5, BSHM Session 1D. I want to discuss you about Lesson 5, Color. Color theory. is the art of combining colors based on color wheel, an organized illustration of primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. There are three types of color theory: hue, saturation, and value. Hue is the reverse of the dominant color family. Hue refers to the origin of the colors that we can see. Saturation is the level of intensity color. High saturation is a bright color, but low saturation is the muted colors, and bright colors have to work together. Value defines how light or dark given color or hue can be. Color scheme is an association of the colors based on organizational system. Monochromatic color scheme or mono is a color scheme based on only one or single color theme. A chromatic color scheme is that possesses no hue, made of black, white, and gray. Analogous color scheme. Analogous means the color grouping similarities. Like example, yellow, yellow-green, green, violet, red-violet, and red. Complementary color scheme. Complementary colors are pairs of colors combined and mixed. Split complementary color scheme. Split complementary uses the two colors across the color wheel, with those two colors lying on either side of complementary colors. Triadic color scheme is a unique variant of split complementary scheme with equal distance between all colors. Tetradic color scheme. Tetradic colors are simply two sets of complementary pairs of colors. RGB refers to a system representing the colors used on a digital display screen. CMYK. The CMYK color model is a subtractive color model.
This is Tony Rosal Enero again, and I will be explaining to you the lesson 6 titled Image. Also include graphics and other illustrations. We are now to the stock photos era. Stock photos are popular in any project because photographs in stock photos are licensed for commercial purposes. Stock photos are sometimes free and cost less, which is a free hassle for any graphic designer. Image file types: vector and raster. Vector is a type of image that does not lose quality when zoomed in. Your image will be pixelated when enlarged. Vector image file extensions. Number 1 is the encapsulated PostScript or EPS. This format is to produce high-resolution graphic for print. EPS file type can be opened in any design editor. Number 2 is the Adobe Illustrator document or AI. This is the most preferable and commonly used image file type by the designers. Raster is the opposite of vector. Raster image become pixelated when enlarged. Raster image file extensions. Number 1 is the Joint Photographic Experts Group. This is the most commonly used file type. JPEG are known for their lossy compression, meaning the image quality decreases when being enlarged. Number 2 is the Portable Network Graphics or PNG. This file type is known for having transparent background. Images in this type are commonly used in web documents. Number 3 is Graphics Interchange Format. This file type is known in its animated form. GIF are often used in web pages as it can quickly due to its reduced file size.